The Golden State Warriors are going through a tough stretch. After losing 5 straight games, 4 of which they led in the fourth quarter, the team urgently needs to turn things around and get back to winning. The next challenge comes against the Houston Rockets on Thursday night, but it will be a tough one, as the Warriors will be without 2 of their key players, Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. What was expected to be a promising season for the team, with high hopes of continuing their success, is now being tested by the absence of their stars. Curry's situation is concerning, but not entirely unexpected. The 36-year-old point guard has been diagnosed with bilateral knee management, which essentially means his knees need rest. Curry, despite being one of the greatest players in NBA history, is no longer a 25-year-old and age is starting to take its toll. His return is projected for Friday's game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but without him, the team will have to adapt. Curry's presence on the floor has always been a cornerstone of the Warriors' offense, being crucial both in creating plays and executing them. Draymond Green's injury is even more worrisome. In a conversation with Baron Davis on his podcast, Green admitted that the issue with his back left him a little scared, as it reminded him of the back injury he suffered during the 2021-22 season, which kept him out for 30 games during their championship run. At that time, Green spent most of his time in the training room. The team is still awaiting the results of the MRI, but both Green and the franchise are being cautious. We don't yet know how serious the injury is, but the fact that Green himself is concerned shows this won't be a short-term issue. The loss of both Curry and Green is a huge blow for the Warriors, especially because they both contribute so much to the team's offense and defense. Without Curry, the lack of a reliable playmaker becomes even more glaring. The injury to DeAnthony Melton, who is out for the season, has complicated the situation further. Melton was an important piece in balancing the rotation, but with him gone, the team has struggled to find solutions in creating plays. Brandon Podziemski, in his second year, hasn't been able to meet his coach's expectations, especially when it comes to decision-making. What is expected from a young player like him is growth, but inconsistency has been an issue. On the other hand, Andrew Wiggins, who has been a strong defender and an important defensive presence, hasn't exactly shown the qualities of a great distributor. That leaves Pat Spencer as an option, but let's be honest, he's a former lacrosse player, and his adaptation to the NBA has been a slow and challenging process. With 12.6 assists per game missing from the roster due to the absence of Curry and Green, it's clear that the situation has become much harder. The team will have to rely on other alternatives and makeshift solutions, which is not ideal in a league as competitive as the NBA. And all of this is happening at a crucial moment, when the Warriors need to find their balance again to avoid falling behind in the Western Conference standings. And their opponent, the Houston Rockets, won't make it any easier. The Rockets have been one of the toughest defensive teams this season. They currently rank second in overall defensive efficiency in the league. It's teams like the Rockets that truly test the depth and resilience of a team like the Warriors. Houston's defense, which forces 15.5 turnovers per game, will be a serious problem for the Warriors, especially with the lack of reliable ball handlers. Still, there's a silver lining for Golden State, as the Rockets have been one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. At a time when the Warriors have been struggling with perimeter defense, Houston's weaknesses in this area might lessen the impact and help the Warriors stay competitive in the game. The focus now shifts to Curry's recovery. His return on Friday against the Timberwolves will be the best indicator of the severity of his injury. But even more important will be what happens with Draymond Green. No matter what the MRI results say, if Green decides not to play against the towering Rudy Gobert, it will be a clear sign that the injury is more serious than expected. Gobert, one of the best defenders in the league, is the type of player who puts immense pressure on any opponent, and Green is the type of defender who can, in theory, handle the task. If he misses that matchup, the Warriors will know that his recovery path will be long and uncertain. But despite all the challenges, Warriors fans remain hopeful. This team has shown over the years that it knows how to overcome adversity. The squad has a solid base of talented players, and the ability of Curry and Green to recover quickly is something that's always been a constant. The season is still in its early stages, and there's no doubt the team will find ways to keep competing, even without their 2 biggest names. The Warriors need to take one step at a time, with their bench players stepping up, and maybe even some of the younger guys, like Podziemski, could surprise. Losing is never an option for a team with the winning mentality of the Warriors. Let's hope that a victory against the Rockets will be the turning point, the beginning of a new phase that brings back the confidence and brilliance that have always defined the franchise. The Warriors' situation has reached a critical juncture, where the burden of responsibility falls heavily on the supporting cast. Players like Klay Thompson, who has struggled to find consistency this season, will need to step up not just as a scorer but as a leader. Thompson is no stranger to adversity, having battled back from 2 devastating injuries to reclaim his place on the court. His ability to knock down shots and rally the team will be paramount in Curry's absence. However, beyond just scoring, Klay will need to bring poise and confidence to a team that has appeared shaken during this losing streak. Then there's Kevin Looney, who has often been an unsung hero for the Warriors. His work on the boards and defensive presence are vital, but without Green beside him, Looney will face added pressure to anchor the defense. Houston's frontcourt is physical and relentless, meaning Looney will need to be at his best to control the paint. His ability to grab offensive rebounds and extend possessions could be a deciding factor in a game where every possession will count. The young players, too, have a unique opportunity to make their mark. Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga have shown flashes of brilliance but have lacked the consistency needed to earn heavy minutes in Steve Kerr's rotation. With key players sidelined, this is their moment to shine. Moody's shooting and Kuminga's athleticism could provide much-needed energy against a scrappy Rockets team. The question is whether they can handle the added responsibility without succumbing to the pressure. Golden State's coaching staff will also play a critical role in navigating this rough patch. Steve Kerr, known for his calm demeanor and tactical acumen, has faced his share of challenges during his tenure. This current situation might be one of the most complex yet. Kerr will need to find creative ways to exploit mismatches, adjust defensive schemes, and instill confidence in a team that seems to have lost its swagger. His leadership will be just as important off the court as it is on the sidelines. The Warriors' struggles are not just about injuries, there are systemic issues that need addressing. Turnovers have been a persistent problem, and with Curry and Green out, that issue could worsen. The team has also struggled with ball movement and spacing, two areas that are hallmarks of Warriors basketball. Fixing these issues without their two primary facilitators will require a collective effort, with every player taking on greater responsibility to keep the offense flowing. Meanwhile, the Rockets present a unique challenge. Their young core, led by Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun, plays with energy and aggression. Houston's defensive schemes are designed to disrupt, and their ability to force turnovers could spell trouble for a Warriors team already struggling to take care of the ball. However, the Rockets' youth also brings inconsistency, and the Warriors will need to capitalize on any mistakes Houston makes. Another key storyline will be the battle beyond the arc. The Warriors, historically one of the league's best three-point shooting teams, have been cold from deep during this skid. Players like Thompson, Wiggins, and even role players like Dario Saric will need to find their rhythm to keep pace. Conversely, the Rockets' struggles from three-point range could offer a slight reprieve for a Warriors defense that has been porous in recent games. As daunting as the road ahead may seem, the Warriors have always thrived in moments of adversity. The strength in numbers mantra that defined their early dynasty years will be tested more than ever. Bench players like Gary Payton II and Corey Joseph could provide the spark needed to reignite the team. Payton's defensive tenacity and Joseph's veteran presence will be crucial as the Warriors try to claw their way back into the win column. Looking ahead, the next few games will likely define the tone for the rest of the season. A win against the Rockets could be the morale boost the Warriors desperately need, but a loss could deepen the hole they find themselves in. Following that, back-to-back games against the Timberwolves, one of the Western Conference's top teams, will be a true litmus test of where this team stands without its stars. These games could either galvanize the team or expose further cracks in the foundation. Ultimately, the Warriors' championship aspirations hinge on the health and availability of Curry and Green. Their return to full strength is essential for the team to compete at the highest level. Until then, this is an opportunity for others to step into the spotlight and prove their worth. It's a defining moment for the organization, one that could either build character and resilience or signal deeper issues that need to be addressed. For now, Warriors fans will keep faith in the team's ability to adapt, persevere, and rise above the challenges they face.